Thank you for joining me on my masterclass. Now, today I'm going to be taking a subject that have been bombarded with a lot of questions, especially after Meta rose today. Because I've been telling my subscribers since last week, I began on Friday, I told them buy Meta shares, buy Meta shares. And they bought Meta shares, and then the stocks went up dramatically today. And number of people are asking, okay, Pastor Reno, how are you able to consistently pick winning shares? Well, I'm going to tell you my formula. I mean, some people say it's a trade secret. Really, I want as many people to make money. You see, when I'm traveling around the world, seeing all this poverty, that's why, I took it upon myself to be the apostle of prosperity. I hate poverty. And so I'm going to teach you how to always pick winning stocks. So there's a formula that I follow. It's called the can-do formula. So it's called the can-do formula. C-A-N, can, and then do, D-O, the can-do formula. For my visually and audio impaired viewers, I'm going to spell it out for you. It's just very simple. C for Charlie, A for Alpha, N for Nancy, can, and then do. D for David, O for Oscar, can do. Now, what's the can do formula? What I do is I look at current earnings of a company. Now, current earnings of a company are not going to benefit me if I want to invest in that company, because only people who previous stockholders, previous investors are going to benefit from current earnings. So I can't buy into a company and then get their current earnings. No, their current earnings is for those who have already been stockholders. However, the best predictor of future behavior is past behavior. If you look at research tells you that about 73% of companies that pay earnings per share, they're going to consistently pay the same level of earnings per share. So I want to look at the current earnings of that company. That's the one, C. Now the next step, A. Now, I also want to look at annual earnings. So I want to look at your current earnings, but I also want to look at your projection. What are you going to make for the whole year? Because as a matter of fact, companies in the United States, they have to give their annual earnings. They've got to give a projection of how much money they're going to make. So I look at that. And when I look at that, it gives me a bird's eye view. I can say, okay, I'm going to invest in this company because this company believes that they're going to make money. And so that's self-confidence. So I look at the annual earnings. Now, the next thing I want to do is I want to look at new products. No matter how good a company is, if they're not making new products, if they're resting on their oars, if they are just living on past glory, eventually that company is going to diminish. It's going to just, atrophy. So there's got to be new products, innovation. So you see, Meta, why did I tell you guys to buy Meta stock? I looked at what Meta was doing, and then I saw that they've been doing other stuff with their AI, and I read it through Zach's investment research. And then the day after I read that, Mark Zuckerberg himself came on Meta and talked about their new AI tool. And so you see, all of that innovation is actually going to drive growth, because it's hard for you to have growth without innovation. Even if you're an oil company, for instance, you can't make new oil, but you can actually go into new oil fields. Maybe you're going into new uncharted territory, you're finding new reserves. So there's got to be new products, innovation. Now the D stands for due diligence. You got to do your due diligence, and that's very important, because companies will tell you only the positive things, and they're not going to tell you the negative things, except they have to by law, and the law is not going to make them tell you every negative thing, so they're going to hide some of those things. So what you want to do is you want to do your due diligence, read up about the company from everywhere that you can, on everything that's published about them, no matter how mundane, no matter how obscure, because negative things tend to hide in obscure areas. And then you want to see what analysts are saying. So if you follow CNBC, CNN Money, Financial Times, Forbes, you're going to see analysts talking about certain companies. Read what the analysts say. Read what investors say. Like, for instance, I'm a Bitcoin investor, so I follow the Winklevoss brothers, and I see what Tyler Winklevoss says, because he is one of the biggest Bitcoin holders. So you want to see also what big investors are saying. And then what I do is that if I want to invest in a company, I go and I follow the CEO and all the top leadership of that company on social media, because a lot of times people are relaxed on social media, and so they say things on social media that they will not say probably to a magazine or a news program, and then you can get insight into their personality, into their character, and into the company from there. Now the O, what does the O stand for? Now you see, we've done all of that, the can do, and then we now finally have the O. You see, one last thing that you need to do for a company is that overthinking is better than underthinking. I'm going to say that one more time. Overthinking is better than underthinking. So they tell you, psychologists not to overthink. For investing in stocks, you got to overthink. Keep on thinking about it, meditate about it before you go to bed. Read up on it, Think. When you wake up after praying, before you go about your normal activities, think. Feed your brain with information, and then your brain is going to feed you with hunches. Look at that, hunches. Hunches are, just ideas that come to your mind that you cannot explain how you get them. That's because you fed your brain with information, and your brain is now feeding you with hunches. Now, that's my can-do strategy, my can-do formula. If you follow it, you're going to be as good as me. I mean, I told you guys to buy Meta stock. Meta stock has risen dramatically. I told you guys before to buy NVIDIA. NVIDIA rose dramatically. I told you guys to buy Netflix, not this time around, but just the last quarter of last year, it rose dramatically. I have this good record, not because I have some spiritual insight. No, it's because I follow this can-do strategy. Now, this is when I work with the Apostle of Prosperity. If you are not a subscriber of mine, you're missing out. My subscribers on the X platform, they make money, and I encourage you to subscribe to me on X. Now, this is the Apostle of Prosperity when I'm working, saying, God bless you.
But Reno travels all around the world. I hope you get inspired about what you see. Apostle of greatness, Reno is a master. Only one man against the whole world in large. Fighting with the monsters, poverty I can't stand. That's why Reno is